Hello, welcome to the Minds Unltd Media channel. I am your host, Dr. J. Duncan.
And this is your co-host, Just Z.
And welcome back to another episode of the Minds Unltd Podcast Recap.
So this week on the podcast, we talked about surrounding Valentine's Day. We talked about power couple versus empowered couples.
Indeed. And I don't know if you can tell by the change of scenery, nothing can hold an empowered couple down anyway. But now we're going to get into some of that. I know that this podcast episode tugs at a lot of different strings depending on where you are in your relationship and in your relationship with self first. Because sometimes people hear it and they just automatically think coupledom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to the podcast, which you should, Just Z breaks down a lot about what the definitions are of power couple versus empowered couple and how they kind of impact us in more than just a relational way of couples.
Yeah.
So, in Minds Unltd fashion, the queen of definitions herself, Just Z, will break you down with the definitions of power versus empower.
All right, so I'll start with power. Let's see. The capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or events. Okay? And then empower is to make someone stronger and more confident, especially to control their own life and rights.
Ooh, So, Jesse, go ahead and start us off with what does this mean to you? Break it down.
Okay, so starting off with the big difference that I see in the two, because it says versus, is that empower seems more intentional. It seems more direct. It seems like you have to have a little more focus to empower someone, right? Because the definition says to make someone, and that someone's in parentheses, meaning that you have someone, something, some goal, some shit that you have in mind to make stronger, to make more confident, and give them basically the power to control their own life, right? Or your own life, right, mind, whatever. So I think that that's something that really stuck out to me versus how power is just saying like you have the ability to direct or influence in general the behavior of others one way or another. You're just influencing.
Indeed. For me, this episode really pointed at the makings of a couple, the makings of a duet, or even a rivalry, if you will. Because it talked about, I thought of like cell phones and how technically a phone has power. Like you charge it up so it gets power, right?
Yeah.
So it itself has power, can make phone calls, this, that, and the other. But not every charger that has power as well can empower that phone, right? So it has the ability to create power and then also give it versus just having it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, with that said, let's just get into to help the people out. Because there's nothing wrong with the image of a couple being powerful. And someone saying, oh, goals or that is a power couple. I think that the misconception of what it means to be a power couple is where it gets people caught up. Because we're trying to be these goals that we don't truly understand.
Yes. I think most people, when they say power couple is a goal, I think they actually mean an empowered couple. I think they actually mean they want to be poured into and pour into someone, and out of that comes this exuding influence or power because of what they have with each other. I think that's really what people mean.
Yeah.
And outside of just like we said, romantic relationships, you could have a work relationship that is powerful, right? You could have a president and a VP, or a manager and whatever manager under him, assistant manager, that are all about power and are always bickering about, well, I told them to do this, or I told them to do this. I want it this way. I said I want it this way, right? And yeah, sure, they're a power couple or a dynamic duo because they're both in charge and, things happen under them. But if they're not empowering each other, then what's happening underneath them can just be a byproduct of their dominance, not their growth. Ugh. Does that make sense?
Heck yeah. Yeah. Dominance versus growth. Another episode. Nah. But on a real talk, especially in where you're tied to something else. You mentioned that it's not just girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever it may be, relational wise. It could be, well, like we talked about in the podcast, rivalry. So, an all-star player versus another all-star player calling the best out of each other. Yeah. Even though it doesn't look like, oh, they're not collaborating in the same direction, does not mean that they're not complimenting each other in the bigger picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that whole domination thing, we all know that, especially in basketball, when somebody just dominates, you call them a ball hog. In relationships, sometimes we call that abusive. Sometimes you get a person that is extremely dominating. Sometimes because of lack thereof other areas, and instead of allowing the power to flow throughout, they captivate on what they feel they have control over. Therefore, it becomes more of a negative situation.
Yep.
So, we're not trying to promote that. We're trying to promote a healthy balance.
No one can take the true power from you if you had it. You know what I mean? Like, the power of knowledge, no one can take that from you if you have it. So, it's more so the empowering part that people miss.
Yeah. I think levels of stubbornness will allow both sides to miss the point. Let's talk relational for a second. You guys know that I'm a mental health therapist. I also give couples therapy and whatnot. And then through my own experience, I've realized that when two people are together, whether it be for a teamwork, whether it be for a relationship or not, it is highly important that two people understand the differences themselves and then understand what they're going to go into. Because, like you said, if a person with knowledge, I might have knowledge in a particular area. If you don't have knowledge in that area, I need to understand that you don't have it in that area, but so do you. Oof. So that there's a level of humility so that when I give a directive in that lane, it is trusted. It's like, oh, wait up, this is your lane. Got you. Well, if I want to know something, I want to ask it to you to explain it to me. But because this is your lane, understand the weight of trust is put on you, right?
Yeah.
And then vice versa. There's things that are not my lane. Just because I'm the man, right, doesn't mean that I'm like, no, I got to have all the answers. A part of ruling a kingdom is asking questions. Mm-hmm. I was taught this. Asking the word separated, A-S-K-I-N-G. As royalty, you need to ask questions sometimes. So, in other words, I need to be humble enough to know my strengths and weakness, to be aware of your strengths and weaknesses, and then guess what? The key, to understand where we want to go. Just saying that I'm strong and weak in one area and you're strong and weak doesn't equal too much of progression. Yep. But if I know that you're trying to get over there, and I'm like, okay, your weakness is all the way up until there, I'm like, let me strategize with you on a strategy to get you there. That's independent of us, but it's more so, let me empower you for the sake of you.
Make me stronger and more confident so I can control, what comes after that in my life and whatever else.
And if she gives it back to you, then it is the gift. There's the relational part. It ain't forced.
Power scares me, to be 100% honest. Like, having the authority or capacity to make all these different directives is a bit daunting to me.
Indeed.
Is that true?
To me?
Yeah.
Or to you? Is it true about you? To you.
Is it true about me to you?
In some areas. This is the only caveat I would give to that, and I hope that you guys listen to this portion. Confidence usually makes power perform a certain way. Do I believe that when you become confident at something, it's second nature? You don't even see it as power. It's just It just is.
Okay, yeah.
So I believe certain things are new. So when new areas, it's like, wait a minute. Like, oh shoot, I'm stressed. It's just we haven't been through it enough, which is the reason why we lean sometimes.
Because you have the power to do it. It's just the know-how, the confidence. You need to be empowered to get there.
Indeed. See what I did there? Empowered. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, for real. I think that's why the podcast and these videos go so well, because we do that. We try to, and sometimes don't even try to empower each other, and it's not a constant power struggle, right? I don't think we've ever heard the term empower struggle, because it's not a thing. Like it's not a thing where let me pour into you, and you're like, no, I want to help you. Like, no, it's usually a power struggle, a power trip. It's not an empower trip.
And yo, that is, if we translate that really is a battle to be seen. Because empowered allows you to say, yo, I see you.
Oh, wait a minute. Empowered, by definition, is to make someone stronger and more confident. That means the efforts of your empowerment will be shown through the other entity. And they might shout you out, give you credit. People might see you doing that. But if no one ever saw it, they would give the credit to this entity here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially if they're connected that way. I know some people get hurt when they be like, oh, I poured into you. You cloned them. You didn't empower them. You know?
I definitely feel empowered. I think that this conversation was powerful. And see what I did there? And if you guys are feeling empowered by this, make sure you like this video, comment down below, and tell us some of your most powerful moments and some things that empowered couples that are goals to you. Let us know. And then, of course, hit the powerful subscribe button. And tune in with us next week. Cool?
Indeed. I'll be remiss if I didn't show some things off real quick. So, in our journey, we announced it, what was it, last week? We announced it shortly, not too long ago, that we were starting or releasing our brand in a very organic way. Meaning that we are starting from zero. We are starting from the idea out. We are taking perspective. We are taking possibility, and we are overcoming barriers. And we want to give that out. We want to put perspective in what you wear. Therefore, we want to promote the Mind State. Mind State Apparel is our newest apparel line that is out now.
I'm wearing the half zip crew neck and hoodie, and we got a full zip on Dr. J. Duncan over there. But yeah, hit us up. Yeah. What is your mind state?
Indeed. Ooh, look at her. Bars empowered me real quick.
Period.
But anyway, y'all know we got a lot of stuff going on, and we do it for you. We do it for the love, and we do it for the community. So if you need to get in contact with us and all that other stuff, she does a very good job of making sure that all that information is in the bio. Visit the It's Possible site for more encouraging information and a little bit of activities weekly.
Visit the Minds Unlimited site if you need any life coaching therapy services or a free consultation. And then, of course, always our Instagrams are open for you guys, and I will put them down below. All right?
So, that's what's up. As always, the smallest change in perspective
can empower a life.
Peace.